Also in this section is Rear Admiral Grace Hopper. Rear Admiral Grace Hopper was a pioneering computer programmer who came up with a specific term you might know. You see, while working on one of the very large computers at the time, the size of buildings they really were large, and she found an insect within, which is no surprise. And when she removed that insect from the circuitry of Secretary of State, General Colin Powell, he's buried there with his wife Alma, who's in. Now, if you look on the other side, you'll start to see some markers that are more ornate. They're different sizes, shapes, and colors. These are privately issued grave markers, issued out to the service members by private groups and families. However, since December of 2017, they are no longer allowed in the cemetery due to size and maintenance concerns. They take up a lot of space, and they require a lot more maintenance than the regular standard issue grave markers. So now all those to a nearby park, Dallas forever came too soon as he was buried here. And his wife Jackie is buried with him alongside the children, and as well are two brothers, brothers Robert F. Kennedy and Edward Kennedy, both United States senators. Also is a memorial marker for a third brother, Joseph Kennedy Jr. Joseph Kennedy Jr. was shot down over the skies of the English Channel during World War II, and he sadly was never recovered, and thus we have a memorial marker rather than a grave marker. Now, in a few moments, on the very front row on the driver's side, we'll see a black marker with wings on it. That's Lieutenant Commander Barbara Allen Rainey, the first female jet pilot and first female naval aviator in U.S. history. Meanwhile, on the passenger side, we'll see a marker that says New Jersey on the back of it. That is for Gunnery Sergeant John Basilone, the first Medal of Honor recipient at the Battle of Guadalcanal in 1944. He also served, because he was a Marine, he wanted to serve again. So he served a second time at the Battle of Iwo Jima in 1945, where he sadly lost his life on the first day of battle. There's another Iwo Jima veteran nearby as well, Sergeant Michael Strang. Sergeant Michael Strang was one of the flag raisers at the Battle of Iwo Jima, having raised the flag over the Mount Suribachi, the highest point on the island. And it was captured in that famous photo of you raising the flag over Mount Suribachi, which inspired our Iwo Jima Memorial just outside the cemetery. Now we're coming up in a few moments. We're going to see on the driver's side 4 markers at the top of that small hill. That small hill is Chaplain's Hill, named for the 4 markers which contain the remnants of 4 sets of chaplains, the Jewish, Protestant, and Catholic faiths, as well as chaplains of all faiths who have served since World War I. Now, we are fast approaching the stop for the Kennedy family gravesite. To get there to the Kennedy family gravesite, you'll have to go straight ahead across the road. So you'll go straight across the road and past an equestrian statue, a man on a horse. We have 2 of those in the cemetery. And that one that we'll pass by is the Sir John Dill, British Field Marshal, who served during World War II as representative from the United Kingdom to the United States. He was the highest ranking foreign national buried here in this cemetery. He was appointed there by Winston Churchill himself, and he's credited with building the special relationship between our 2 countries that lasts to this day. This is going to be the stop for the Kennedy family gravesite. You can hop off if you'd like, or you can stay on if you'd like. It's up to you.
We're getting off. Are we? No. We're staying, never mind.
Which one would you get off when we have it on the roll? The second stop.
You're looking at the back of the stones. This one here is front.
Alright, welcome everyone. We are Austin and Dinknum. We are taking you to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, the second stop of the day, where the changing of the guard occurs every 30 minutes. Now, just a reminder of some safety rules. Please no standing up or moving about in the vehicle while it's in motion, and no sticking any items or body parts outside the vehicle's windows, including elbows, while it is in motion. Now, on the driver's side, we're going to see a black marker at the top of the hill with 4 stars on it. We can see it in just a second, a better view of it. That is of Benjamin O. Davis, Jr., the first 4-star African-American general in U.S. history. Sorry about the confusion, folks. But we should be heading to the Tomb of the Unknown
Medal of
Soldier.
Honor. I'm trying to look for Civil War soldiers here, but where are the newer ones? Look at that.
Now, George Marshall is going to be on the driver's side. General George Marshall is a 5-star officer who served during World War II, and after the war was Secretary of State and Secretary of Defense under President Truman. Under that war, or under that administration, he authored the Marshall Plan, which rebuilt Western Europe and earned the Nobel Peace Prize for his efforts. Now, on the passenger side, meanwhile, we're going to see a gray path going up to the Memorial Amphitheater. Next to the left of it is a brown tree. Next to that brown tree is a large brown marker for the Brown Bomber, Joe Louis, world heavyweight champion of boxing in the 1930s and 1940s, performed in 96 exhibition matches during that time. Now, next to him is Hollywood actor Lee Marvin, who was also a Marine. He was in films such as The Dirty Dozen, but he was also famous for being a Marine that served at the island of Saipan, where he earned the Purple Heart. We're about to pass in front of the Memorial Amphitheater. Great photo opportunity on the passenger side. Alright, well, y'all will be seeing a couple of other stops. We will be going to the tomb afterwards, but you'll be seeing a couple of other stops before we head there. The 2 other stops we're going to see are going to be the Coast Guard Memorial and the Iwo Jima, sorry, not the Iwo Jima Memorial, the Pershing gravesite. You'll see those 2 stops before we drop you off at the tomb. Now, on the driver's side is section the final resting place of the Marine, the greatest of all the Leathernecks, the 13th Commandant of the United States Marine Corps, General John A. Lejeune. General Lejeune was Cajun from Louisiana, so that's how they pronounce his name, but you might know it better as Lejeune from Camp Lejeune in North Carolina, which is named after him. might note on the hill behind us, on the passenger side, you'll see some markers that are very close together. These are memorial markers. They say in memory of, because there are no remains underneath. They're also known as cenotaphs, which is Greek for empty tomb. Now, there are no remains underneath because they were either donated to science, buried at sea, or otherwise never recovered. There's another memorial marker that's going to be on the passenger side. It's a large 8-sided one. That is the USS Serpent's memorial marker, which was part of the largest Coast Guard disaster in U.S. history, where the Serpents exploded off the coast of Guadalcanal in 1945, leading to 250 casualties, the largest disaster in Coast Guard history. You'll also see other group markers on the passenger side that are also contain various either commingled remains or no remains at all of groups that lost their lives together in various smaller disasters. Also in this section that we're looking at on the passenger side is Corporal Ira Hayes. Corporal Ira Hayes was a member of the Pima Native American Nation, and he served during World War II as a Marine. And during that war, he was one of the flag raisers at the Battle of Iwo Jima, alongside Michael Strength that we passed by earlier. Now up on the hill is William Jennings Bryan at the very top of the hill. He was a 4-time presidential candidate from Nebraska. He was also an attorney at law who served at the Scopes monkey trial, and he sadly passed away several days after that trial. If we look on the driver's side through these trees, we'll see the Pentagon. That is the west side of the Pentagon that was actually struck on September 11th, 2001 by a plane. We'll also see in a few moments as we turn more, we'll see 3 spires kind of like going up in the air. Those right here on the driver's side, those are the U.S. Air Force Memorial. It's designed to look like the bomb burst formation of the U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds team. Now we're about to pass the Coast Guard Memorial Site. It's a large pyramid structure dedicated to the U.S. Coast Guard cutters Tampa and Seneca, right here on the passenger side. That large pyramid structure. Any takers for the Coast Guard stop? Alright. On the driver's side, you'll see 2 markers, a black marker for Matthew Henson and Robert Perry. Robert Perry was an admiral, and his assistant, Matthew Henson, explored the North Pole and were the first explorers to reach the North Pole and plant the American flag there. Now, up ahead, we're going to see 4 green posts on the side of the road on the passenger side. About 4 rows back from those posts will be the 4-star Admiral Ben Morrell. Ben Morrell was the father of the Seabees. He served during World War II and created the Seabees, which are the U.S. Navy's construction battalion. They create various military bases and other constructions under fire and also in natural disasters. Now we're heading to the Pershing gravesite. Pershing was actually, General John J. Baxter Pershing, that is, was a 6-star general, the equivalent of a 6-star general. He was called a General of the Armies, plural. And that's because he commanded U.S. troops during World War I. He commanded all troops during World War I. He himself is among 3 6-star generals, but the only one to actually receive it during the lifetime. The other 2, General George Washington and General Ulysses S. Grant, received theirs after their lifetimes. Now Pershing is buried alongside his 2 grandsons, both of whom served in the Vietnam War. One of them sadly perished in the Tet Offensive. Alright, so we are now heading to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, where the changing the guard is going to occur in 12 minutes. Now, if you look to the driver's side, it's the final resting place of Corporal John Pruitt. Corporal John Pruitt was one of Pershing's doughboys, as they were known, one of the soldiers that served under him. And he himself had the honor of being a two-time Medal of Honor recipient, actually receiving both medals for the same action on the same day. That action was capturing 2 German machine guns, and then with those machine guns capturing 40 German soldiers by himself. However, he received wounds during that action and sadly passed away on the next day. That day was his 22nd birthday. Now, we have several astronauts buried in our cemetery. One of them is Colonel John Glenn, but we also have Charles P. Conrad. You'll see Conrad in a few moments on the passenger side. It's about maybe 6 rows back, right there. He was the 3rd man to step on the moon. Now, we're headed to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier with the Changing the Guard, which is a very solemn place. Ceremony. So if you have any electronics, we ask that you silence them at this time. You can put photos and videos. You just can't take any photography. It's guarded by the 3rd Infantry Regiment, the Old Guard, and has been guarded by volunteers of this regiment since 1948. Regardless of nights, regardless of snowstorms, even during the 2014 Virginia earthquake, they continue to stand guard. They guard a set of 1 tomb and 3 crypts, 1 tomb for World War I and 3 crypts for World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. The Vietnam crypt, though, lays empty, as the unknown there was actually identified through DNA testing as Michael Blassie of Missouri and reinterred in St. Louis, Missouri Jefferson Barracks. If you look to the driver's side, we'll see a statue of a nurse. That's the Military Nurses Memorial. It's overlooking a bunch of graves of military nurses. Also on that hill is Section 21, where Henry Kissinger and John Foster Dulles are buried. Henry Kissinger is the second of the Nobel Peace Prize recipients within our cemetery. Now up on the hill we'll see 4 cannons with a large white spire sort of monument. That is the Spanish-American War Memorial, dedicated to the Spanish-American War. Those 4 cannons are Spanish cannons. The 2 on the driver's side, we're going to see a tree with purple flowers around it on the driver's side, on the side of the road. We'll see it in just a few moments. It's just up ahead. We'll see a wreath next to a marker. That is for Major Audie Murphy. Major Audie Murphy was the most decorated soldier in World War II and one of the most decorated soldiers in U.S. history. This is going to be the stop at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. To get there, you'll go around the edge of the Memorial Amphitheater. When you get picked up, it's about 50 yards ahead.
Yeah, I saw you falling asleep 6 days.
Yeah. It's like,
What are the people in the green hats for?
something.
Which way are we going? Brandy, do you remember? Brandy, do you remember which way we're going? Alright.
What are they doing? What are they doing?
Oh, through that thing? This little part here?
Some minutes.
Go up or around the edge.
What are the people
There's
in the
somebody
green?
right there.
What are the people in the green hats for? What?
Where'd Brandy go?
What are the people in the green hats?
No, not up the stairs, we'll go around the corner.
Oh,
Around the Memorial Amphitheater.
yeah.
What?
Yeah, the volumes.
Yeah, it's gonna be up here and on your right side. Upstairs?
Yes, upstairs right now.
I'm going outside. Let me do what I want. Look at these ceilings. Over here, right? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? I am Staff Sergeant Fromm of the 3rd Infantry Regiment, United States Army, Commander of the Relief, Tone of the Unknown Soldier. The ceremony that you are about to witness is the changing of the guard. In keeping with the dignity of this ceremony, it is requested that everyone remain silent and steady. Thank you. On your own. Halt and order. Remain as directed. Order. Go. Ready. Halt. Reset. Halt. Right. Shoulder. Up. Halt. Right. Halt. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The ceremony that you are about to witness is an army wreath laying ceremony to be conducted in honor of the unknown. It is requested that everyone remain silent and standing during this ceremony. All military personnel in uniform will render the hand salute, and it is appropriate for all others to place their right hand over their heart on the command of present honor. Thank you. Present honor. Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony that you are about to witness is an army reclaim ceremony to be conducted in honor of the unknown. Thank you. Reset! On! Order! On!
see what's going on.
72, I think.
Let's see what's going on. I'll get back here.
You can walk up there.